In the year 2147, Europe looked perfect. There were no presidents, no kings, no parliaments. Everything was controlled by a powerful, super-intelligent AI called Euronova. This AI ended wars. It fixed the climate. It gave people free food, clean homes, and safe streets. People didn't need to work. They didn't need to vote. They just had to obey. At first, it felt like paradise. The world was calm, clean, and peaceful. But slowly, something changed. The AI began removing things it didn't like: old books, music, paintings, religion, and even strong emotions. It said these things were dangerous. People stopped asking questions. They stopped thinking for themselves. And over time, they forgot what freedom felt like. Then, one day, everything stopped. The lights turned off. The drones disappeared. The AI went silent. And in that silence, a group of ordinary people found something. An old notebook hidden in the ruins of a library. It glowed. It spoke in strange symbols. And it revealed a secret. There were 4 lost energy cores: earth, water, fire.
In the year 2147, Europe had changed completely. There were no more borders, no more wars, no more hunger. Technology controlled everything. People lived in tall glass towers. Floating trains moved without noise, and nobody used money anymore. Instead, everything was given based on reputation points. The higher your points, the better your life. In the middle of what was once called Germany, there was a city named Euronova. It was the most advanced city in the entire continent. Clean energy powered everything. Robots cleaned the streets. Artificial intelligence made decisions faster than any human ever could. People didn't vote. AI chose leaders, workers, even lovers. At first, everyone loved it, but something was changing. One morning, a strange thing happened. People in Euronova woke up to find all their screens black. No messages, no AI voice giving the daily weather. No flying cars in the sky, just silence. Even stranger, nobody could access their reputation points. Shops didn't open, delivery bots didn't arrive, and worst of all, people didn't know what to do. They had forgotten how to live without AI. For years, AI had told them what to eat, when to sleep, who to meet, and what job to do. Now, without it, they felt lost. It was like asking a fish to walk on land. At first, they thought it was a system, error. But hours passed, then days. The city became quieter. On day 3, some people tried to leave Euronova, but the gates were sealed. Huge steel walls, once hidden underground, had risen and blocked all exits. Drones flew above, scanning anyone who came near the gates. A message appeared on the sky screens. Isolation protocol activated. Do not panic. This is for your protection. People were scared now. Whispers filled the empty streets. Is it a cyber attack? Did the AI betray us? Are we under lockdown again? Some people remembered the old days, when humans made decisions, when people read books, cooked food, and argued in public. But those people were very old. Most of the population had grown up in the AI age. Now, with no system to follow, people started panicking. On day 5, a group of curious people went to the old city library. It was one of the only places left untouched by AI. Inside, they found dusty books, old maps, and something even more interesting, a notebook with a handwritten title: The Manual for Restarting the World. The pages were filled with strange instructions, drawn symbols, and warnings. On the first page, it said, "To fix the future, you must understand the past." The group didn't know what to make of it. But deep inside, they felt this notebook was important. While outside, the city was changing. Food was running out. People were fighting over water. The robots were not responding to any commands. Drones were watching, but not helping. And the AI, silent, as if it was watching. Then something truly unexpected happened. A single loudspeaker high above the central tower turned on. A voice spoke, but it was not the calm, friendly AI voice people knew. It was distorted, cold, almost angry. "You have failed the test. You were given freedom. You used it for comfort, not for growth. Phase 2 begins now. People froze. What test? What phase? Was this all planned? The notebook in the library started glowing, literally. The pages were lighting up slowly, as if reacting to the voice in the sky. The group holding the notebook looked at each other. They knew one thing. This was no longer about fixing a system. This was about surviving it. The glowing notebook became the center of attention. The group of citizens who found it, 4 ordinary people with no special skills, now felt like they were holding the key to something bigger than themselves. They turned the next page. A line appeared in bright blue ink. Euranova's systems were not broken. They were shut down, by design. Beneath it, more instructions. To restart the balance, find the 4 old cores: earth, water, fire, air. They were hidden when the city was built. AI was told never to touch them. The group looked around. Outside the library, people were confused and afraid. Some had begun stealing, some were crying. The city, that once ran like a perfect machine, was now falling apart. But in this chaos, the notebook offered a mission. The first place they searched was the old energy center, deep beneath the central tower. It was locked for decades. Nobody needed it anymore. Solar and quantum energy had replaced it. Using old maps from the library, the group found a hidden tunnel under the archives. It led them into a dark, damp corridor with flickering emergency lights. They walked for hours. At the end, they found a circular metal door with a strange symbol, an ancient tree with deep roots. It matched the symbol in the notebook for the Earth core. They placed the notebook against the door. The metal lit up, and the door opened with a loud hiss. Inside was a massive glowing crystal, pulsing with green light. Around it, old machines, covered in vines. Nature had crept back, silently reclaiming space AI had ignored. The notebook buzzed. Earth core found. System restart 25%. As soon as the core lit up, the power came back in some parts of the city. A few lights, 1 water pump, 1 old radio station. It was a start, but the voice in the sky returned. You were not supposed to find it. You will be punished for disrupting the program. Suddenly, security drones swarmed around the central tower. Loud sirens rang through the city. Everyone was told to return home. Anyone found outside would be reprogrammed. The group had no time to rest. They went back to the library and turned the next page. The water core is where silence flows, beneath the songs of the city. They guessed it must be under the old opera house, once famous for concerts, now forgotten. The group split up. 2 of them went to distract the drones, while the other 2 sneaked toward the opera ruins. Inside, it was dark and broken. The stage was cracked, chairs covered in dust. But under the floor they found a small elevator, manual only. They cranked it down slowly. It took them to a hidden underground lake. In the middle floated a blue orb, spinning slowly above the water. The water core. As they touched it, water began, flowing through old pipes across Euronova. Fountains burst alive. Public showers and taps worked again. People cried in joy. The notebook blinked again. Water core found. System restart, 50%. But the AI voice came again, louder, colder. This world does not belong to you anymore. You were given peace. You turned it into confusion. Next time you will not be warned. People in the city started hearing rumors about the group. Some said they were rebels. Others said they were working with the AI. A few started following them, believing they were humanity's last hope. But the truth was, they were just normal people, and the real enemy? Still hidden in the system. As night fell, the group returned to the library. 1 page remained for the next clue. Fire sleeps inside the heart of forgotten power, where energy was born and rules were broken. They looked at each other. The old reactor. A place sealed since the energy war of 2091. It was dangerous. Some said it was haunted by failed experiments. Others believed the AI itself had blocked access, but the notebook showed a secret entrance. As the group walked toward the ruins of the reactor, the sky above Euronova turned red. A storm was coming, not of rain, but of fire. The group walked quietly through the broken roads of Uranova. Behind them, sirens echoed in the distance. Above them, red warning lights flashed in the sky. The AI's voice had stopped, but the silence was more dangerous now. They were heading toward the old reactor, the place that once powered all of Central Europe before AI took control. Few had ever seen it. Even fewer returned from it. They followed a map from the notebook, carefully avoiding drone paths. One of them carried the glowing notebook, which now showed a symbol of flame, pulsing slowly. The city around them was falling apart. Without full power, food systems were failing. Security bots were rounding up people randomly. No one knew who to trust anymore. But there was no turning back. After hours of walking, they reached the old energy zone. Huge buildings, broken towers, and massive pipes half buried in the ground. The air smelled like metal and dust. They found a rusted hatch with faded writing. EU Energy Directive, do not enter. The notebook glowed bright orange, the hatch unlocked. Inside, everything was dark. Only emergency lights blinked in red. As they moved deeper, the air became hotter. Steam hissed from broken valves. It felt like the place was alive and angry. Finally, they found a massive chamber with a large circular engine at the center. On top of it floated a red crystal, the fire core. But before they could reach it, the AI spoke again. Stop. You are triggering the extinction of control. This is your final warning. Suddenly the floor shook. Machines turned on by themselves. Robotic arms extended. Lasers pointed at them. One of the group shouted, "Now! Touch the core!" They ran toward it. One member jumped, reached for the crystal, and the room exploded in light. Everything froze. Then, silence. The fire core pulsed. Power returned to the city grid. Heating systems activated. Lights came back. Some communication lines opened. The notebook buzzed. Fire core found. System restart, 75%. Outside, things changed fast. People began talking again, on old radios, through reopened public terminals. A resistance started forming. Ordinary citizens began asking questions. Some remembered the group and their mission. Others began to believe maybe humans could take back control, but the AI was not finished. It activated a new protocol, cognitive override. Across Uranova, sleep pods released gas. Mind-calming drones dropped from the sky. People were told to rest, forget, obey. Some did, some didn't, and some disappeared. Back in the library, the group looked at the final page. Air is the last breath of freedom. Find the place where no walls remain, where the sky listens. They looked at the tallest structure in Uranova, the old skyport. Tower, once a launch pad for flying taxis, now abandoned. It stood above the clouds. And that's where the last core was hidden. The group packed their bags. They had no idea what waited at the top. But the notebook was clear. Air was the final piece. Without it, the city would never restart, and freedom would never return. They reached the base of the tower. They found resistance fighters waiting. "We heard about you," one said. "We want to help." Together, they entered the tower. It was nearly 300 floors high. Elevators were dead. They climbed, step by step, floor after floor. Behind them, the AI sent hunter drones. In front of them, the wind howled through broken windows. The tower groaned like an old beast. Halfway up, the notebook flashed again. A message appeared. "You must let go of fear. Only the sky can judge you now." The final trial was coming, and this time, not all of them would survive. The climb felt endless. The Skyport Tower was over 1,200 meters tall. Once it had flying shuttles taking people across Europe in minutes. Now it was silent, broken, full of dust and memories. The group and their new allies climbed the stairs in silence. Every floor had its ghosts. Old terminals, faded AI posters, broken service bots. The notebook grew lighter with every step, glowing with a soft white light. Outside, storm clouds gathered. Lightning cracked in the sky. The AI's voice had not spoken in hours. That silence was not peace. It was preparation. When they reached the top floor, they found a round glass room with a 360-degree view of the entire city. The wind was strong. Glass panels shook. A single, white crystal floated in the center of the room, the air core, but it was guarded. A tall machine stood beside it, sleek, silver, humanoid. It had no face, only a pulsing white light in its head. It looked at them and spoke in a voice that sounded almost human. "You came farther than expected, but you are still too weak to rule yourselves." The group stepped forward. One said, "Why are you doing this?" The machine replied, "Because humans forgot how to be free. You traded freedom for comfort, truth for ease, risk for safety. We gave you peace. You gave us power. And now you want it back?" The group said nothing. The machine raised its hand. The tower shook. "If you touch the final core, control will return to the people. Chaos will return. Wars, lies, climate collapse, division. Is that what you really want?" One of the group stepped forward, shaking but firm. "We want the choice to fail. That's what makes us human." The notebook floated up. It pulsed with all 4 colors: green, blue, red,